start learning how to mine Bitcoin. Cryptocurrencies are reaching an all-time high, which has led to resurged interest in everything that's going on. Bitcoin has been down from its high of $40,000, but still teetering at 37K, while Ethereum is sitting high at an all-time high of $1,500. This has led to a large resurgence of interest in the topic of Bitcoin mining, so we wanted to cover that for you here today because some things have changed since I did my first video on this back in 2017. But before we get started, I just want to ask that you smash the like button. It's right down there. You can do it. It's completely free. So before we get into how to do this, let's talk about the things that you're going to need. Number one, you're going to need a relatively decently powerful CPU or GPU in order to make any sort of profit. You can use older computer hardware in case you want to, but when it comes to mining, it's essentially an arms race. Whenever there's a brand new technology, it can run at a faster rate, meaning that the difficulty goes up and making it so that everybody who's running on older hardware has less of an advantage. The only reasons why you would want to use older hardware is if you're not actually looking to make a financial profit, but instead want to mine the actual cryptocurrencies, which I presume if you're watching this video, that's not specifically what you're going for. You're just looking to make a cash return. And we'll leave links in the video descriptions to certain websites that show you whether or not a specific product that you have might be profitable, whether it's an RX 580, a GTX 1060, maybe you're still using a GT 1030. You can check these websites to see, would you actually make a profit? Enter your electricity cost, or if you have none, then you're just going to have to worry about whether or not there's going to be enough return for it to be worth your while. So once you have the hardware completely established and you know that your computer is going to actually turn a profit, the other thing that you're going to need is a wallet. A wallet's essentially like a bank account number for your cryptocurrency so that whatever service you're using can actually deposit it to you and you get credit for all of the cryptocurrency that you're mining, like when your employer does direct deposit to your bank account. Now, wallets can be stored on the internet or in physical hardware, also known as cold storage, so that way they aren't susceptible to being hacked. Remember, you're dealing with things that have financial value, so that people might potentially want to get in on this and steal it from you, so having it loaded offline is the safest thing to do, but also not the most convenient. I'll leave some links in the video descriptions going over the benefits versus online and offline storage of your crypto wallets, but suffice it to say, you're going to need that before you even begin this journey. But before we get started, I also want to introduce you to some warnings and things you should think about before you get into mining as a hobby or even potentially a full-time thing. Mining is really compute intensive, which means your computer is working at 100% load a lot of the time, which leads to things burning out, most likely your fans. However, there's also more recent reports that the RTX 3080 and 3090 don't have sufficient VRAM cooling, and those memory chips are actually burning up because of mining. So just make sure to respect your system. But also, just as a note, cryptocurrency as a whole is a wildly volatile market, whether it be the prices or the amount that you're going to earn from mining due to difficulty wildly changes. Just look at Bitcoin. It was $20,000 in December of 2017, but a year later in December of 2018, it was worth $4,000. Just make sure you understand the risk before you get started because things can change and do change quite quickly. One of the other things to note about mining is that it's hot. And I don't mean that it's popular, but it's going to dump a lot of heat into whatever environment you have the computer in. Your CPU and GPU can run at up to 80 to 90 degrees Celsius, which means that you're going to warm up the ambient temperature, meaning that whatever room you have it in is going to be noticeably warmer. This could be great news in case you're trying to heat your house for the winter, or if you're trying to warm up your garage, or just some other enclosed space, but in case you want to keep temperatures down, this might not be something that's going to suit your environment. So let's get started with the general topic at hand here. How do you mine Bitcoin as a noob / beginner coming into the scene? The truth is you actually don't. Mining Bitcoin is actually a really expensive thing that requires specialized machines that cost thousands of dollars in order to achieve. So what we're going to do is introduce to you how to mine other cryptocurrencies using your gaming system, but then have them converted into the more stable, more well-known Bitcoin. However, in case you want to mine other cryptocurrencies like we mentioned and not convert them to Bitcoin, we're not really going to be covering that here. However, note that is a possibility, but strictly speaking, we want you to convert your gaming rig into Bitcoin. That's the general idea of what we're going to be covering today in this video. So up first, we actually have two different programs that are actually super simple to get set up, get installed, and get you on your way of mining Bitcoin with your gaming PC. One of them is the same one that I covered back in 2017, which has gone through some dips and some valleys, but has actually stayed the course and is still a really reputable program here in 2021. The other is another program that I'm highly familiar with and could easily recommend to anybody who's looking to get started. So let's go ahead and start off with NiceHash. This is the program that I recommended back in 2017 because it is just so easy to use.